Hi everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Today we're going to talk about how to pack for your Caribbean cruise vacation. So we're going to focus on the Caribbean because it's going to be very different than packing for a very active cruise where you'd be going to the Mediterranean or the Baltic or anything like that where you're going to be running around a lot. So number one for a Caribbean cruise, pack lighter than you think you should. You're not going to need a ton of clothes, especially during the days. During the days, a lot of times you're going to be by the pool or at a beach or just wandering around a port. So you want to keep light. You're going to probably be wearing a swimsuit or shorts, comfortable shoes. And things to keep in mind when you're doing that is to make sure that you bring a little small, like a beach bag, which is great for you to take off the ship. It's also great for day one of your cruise. I highly recommend you pack one swimsuit and maybe a cover up or something in your beach bag so that you can get on the ship and literally go to the pool, to the hot tubs. While everyone else is running up to the buffet to grab something to eat, you can head right to the pool and start taking advantage of your vacation right away. With that in mind, bring 2 swimsuits. Your swimsuits are going to get wet every day, and you're not going to have a mechanism in place. There's no dryer that you can use on most of the cruise lines without paying to do laundry. You are not allowed to hang your swimsuits on the balcony because they can go overboard and it just causes a lot of different issues. So if you do put things on the balcony, your room steward will bring them in. There is usually in your shower a little line that you can hang up, a clothesline, and dry your things in there. But that does take some time. So bringing 2 swimsuits is a great tip so that you always have one that is ready to go. You do not need to bring beach towels or anything. All of the cruise lines have beach towels. You just have to remember to sign them out and bring them back before you get off the ship. So the next thing you really want to make sure you bring is just know the dress code on your cruise ship. So if there are some formal nights, most of the contemporary cruise lines like Carnival, Princess, Royal, and Norwegian, there are no mandatory formal nights where you're wearing a suit or a tuxedo. It's recommended like dress your best, things like that. So as long as you're wearing a collared shirt or even a sundress or something like that, you're fine to go in any of the restaurants. But just know the dress code. If there are, some of the cruises do theme nights, they'll do a white party or they'll do an 80s party. So if there are little things like that, do a little research ahead of time. You can always find older daily cruise journals from different cruise lines. Royal Caribbean Blog does a great job of putting up old cruise compasses from Royal, and you can find some of the Norwegian and Carnival ones out there as well. And just know what the themes are so that you can be prepared. Bring your basics, which are going to include any over-the-counter or prescription medications. Make sure you have those, keep those in your carry-on. Do not pack those in your luggage so that you have them if you need them. And then some of the other basics are make sure you have some type of headphones or earbuds if you want to listen to music or watch some TV while you're out on the decks so that you can have some privacy with that. Some other basics are Ziploc bags. It's a great idea if you grab some cookies or something and bring them back to your room. Something to keep things fresh for a day or two so you can either put them in your chiller or leave them out on the counter without leaving just food laying out. It's a great idea. Bringing your iPad or your laptop, whatever you bring, make sure you have Netflix if you are paying for the streaming internet package, or you can download some things from Netflix. So that's one thing to do ahead of time is download some of your favorite shows or movies so that you have those ready to go. And also bring your Kindle or bring books, especially now if you're going on a cruise. I really recommend having a Nook or a Kindle. That way you can have a few books with you without carrying heavy books and putting them into your luggage. Because especially if you're in an inside cabin, you don't have a ton of space to begin with. So really kind of prioritizing your space is a really great idea. Another good one for a basic is a highlighter. So every day you're going to have the daily cruise journal delivered to your door, and you can rip off the back of most of the sheets that has a full list of things going on. You can also use the app and add things to your calendar on most of the cruise ships, but some of the apps aren't really great. Especially we were on the Norwegian Escape last year in December, and there were a lot of times that the app would log you out or just bounce you out. And it's just great to have that piece of paper with you. And if you have a highlighter, you can highlight all the things that you would like to do during the day, and that way you can carry it around and you'll know when things are popping up. So those are some basics. Some other things that you really want to make sure you bring, you have to have your travel documents, so your passport and your vaccination cards now. You want to keep those again with you in your carry-on to make sure that you have those ready to go when you hit the port. And you can throw them in your beach bag when you are heading out to shore because you want to make sure just in case you're one of the pier runners that doesn't make it back to the ship. You will have all your documents with you. Also, while you're doing that, a great thing to have is a little plastic case for your documents or your vaccination card so they don't get wet or lost or anything, and it's easier for you to hold. Some other things to think of packing are magnetic hooks or clips. These are great if anyone didn't know. The rooms in your cabin are all metal. So you can put magnetic hooks and clips on there. And we have, look at this, Meg just handed me them. So here's one of the magnetic hooks that we use when we go on cruises, where you could hang up your swimsuits or any of your dresses or jackets or shirts. And then these are the little clips that you can use to hang up your like daily cruise compass or tickets to your excursions or anything like that. These really come in handy. And again, it frees up that really minimal space that you're going to have in most cruise cabins, and that is awesome. So those are things to keep in your cabin. Another thing to keep in your cabin is wrinkle release spray. If any of you are bringing packing cubes or any of the vacuum sealed bags, a lot of your clothes are going to be a little bit wrinkled. A lot of people do the rolling up method when they pack. So the wrinkle release spray is a great thing. You just spray it on your clothes, shake them out, and you should be good to go. Another good thing to keep in mind is a lanyard. So when you're walking around the cruise ship, especially if you have the drink package, it's great to have a lanyard with your key card on it so you don't have to keep going in your pocket to get it, and you don't forget it or leave it anywhere. That's another great one. Hats and sunscreen. So I think the thing that I forget the most and most people forget the most, you can usually get a hat or sunscreen on the ship or at one of the ports. However, you are going to pay extra for those things. I wound up getting a hat in Mexico and it was like $25 or $30, which is fine. But also your sunscreen, the first couple days you're going to be on the ship. If you have a sea day, the sunscreen on the ship is absolutely going to be more money. I know Meg on our team had to buy sunscreen and it was $54 in the thing. It was like the really nice sunscreen, but it was the only one that they had. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you are in an inside cabin, a great thing to have is a little alarm clock light, something that wakes you up, because if you haven't sailed an inside cabin, it is pitch dark 24 hours a day. Once you close the door, it is dark, which is great for taking naps and sleeping, but it's also a little bit hard to wake up, and it's a little hard to get up in the middle of the night and run to the restroom. So a lot of people use the little plug-in night lights, which is something to think about for the restroom. A lot of people have the little hack of turning on all of the ships. They have a front of the ship view that you can turn on your TV. So that'll obviously be dark at night, and then as the sun rises, that will lighten up your cabin as well. So just things to think about. Comfortable shoes are a huge one. You're going to be doing a lot of walking around, so it's great. In addition to having dress shoes or flip-flops, it's great to have some type of comfortable shoes with you. And then I think a few last things are, if you do or you are worried about getting seasick, having the Sea-Bands or Dramamine or Bonine are good things to bring with you. They do usually have those things on the ship, but again, if it is rocky and everybody is not feeling great, those things are going to sell out. And there's also some like homeopathic or holistic ones like ginger candies and different things like that can help. Even green apples are supposed to help as well. And then I think the last couple things are just make sure you bring some cash for tipping. Tipping on most of the cruise lines is included, but it is nice to just have some extra cash around if somebody does go above and beyond, and you can just give them cash. They do appreciate it very much. And then I think the last thing we could touch on is just bring a jacket or a hoodie. I think a lot of people assume if you're hitting the Caribbean in the winter or even in summer, it's going to be really warm. And sometimes there are chilly nights. Even if you're out on the deck, if you hit the top decks in the evening or at night, it is chilly, and it's really nice to sit out there sometimes and watch a movie or just relax. But if you are moving, it might get a little windy and chilly. So those are just some tips on what to pack for your Caribbean cruise. We will be back in a few days with some really tips to pack lighter and how to really take advantage of your bringing a small, just a 1 bag or a 2 bag trip. So we will see you next time. If anybody else has things, please add them in the comments below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.